How's it going, guys? Ja here, and what I have for you today is a PvP Tempest build in Diablo Immortal. I've actually had to record this like 7 times because this is my first time making a video like this, and I'm not that well organized. So if there's like a lot of cuts and jumps here and there, it's because I messed up, and then I'm kind of a perfectionist, so sorry about that. But I know how Tempest isn't a meta in the state of PvP right now. So I really wanted to find a build that I really enjoy and I think you guys would also enjoy playing. Um, I've came across Looney's and Endez's channel for PvP builds for Tempest. I like them, but for my playstyle, I prefer to be a little bit more tankier, right? I played Monk and I played the tanky build. I absolutely love it, and I kind of want to do something similar like that to or but for Tempest, right? And I found these two SS's, and I thought it would be great to have a build around revolving around them, right? And for my shoulders, I'm using GustGift. It causes your wind walk now empowers you, during which your primary attacks grant you shield that absorbs damage and grants immunity to knockback effects. And for my main hand, I am using, I think it's XSAADH, I think that's how you say it. Um, it now causes your rolling surf to empower your edges, granting you temporary immunity to loss of control and knockback while causing you and your Zephyr's primary attacks to become sweeping sword slashes that deal increased damage with each consecutive hit. Whenever I was trying this out on the test dummy, I've noticed you can stack up your shields continuously. Like, it's not like a small amount, it's a large amount, and I will be showing you examples and gameplay of it later on in this video. But for my head essence, I am using UnYielding Vision. I know you can't see it because of this Horde Splitter Spirit helmet, which they really gotta fix, but it now causes my Rolling Surf critical hits to cause an explosion of water. My chest piece, I'm using OverFlow, which now causes my Vortex to erupt with geysers from the ground underneath random enemies every second, damaging and knocking them into the air. So the problem with this build is using this melee essence with Rolling Surf is not great with moving targets, which is a problem, right? So I needed something to stun them in place while swinging my primary attacks. And the only thing I could find was Overflow. If you guys can find anything else that we could be using, please let me know. But I'm using Overflow. For my pants essence, I'm using Flaring Lighthouse, which now causes your breaker to let you dash forward, damaging enemies, conjuring a Zephyr in your wake. Additionally, you gain an absorption shield, which is great. Allows you to be more tanky. For my two offhands, I'm using Maarozhi. Is that how you say it? Maarozhi Spine, which all it does is Zephyr damage is increased by percentage. This varies depending on your mastery. And for my second one, I'm using Glory to Ksathra, which now Vortex also increases your primary attack speed by 28%, which also varies. And for my two main hands, I'm using GrassBlade Edge, which all this does is increase your wind walk duration. And then I already went over these two. For my set pieces, I'm using 4-piece MonteBanks. For more damage, you could go 2-piece MonteBanks and 2-piece Grace, but I prefer more survivability, so I'm using 4-piece MonteBanks. And for my other set, I'm using 4-piece Vithus. This is really great because the faster you attack, the quicker you can apply shield to yourself while mid-fight. For my gym setup, I don't really think it matters that much. If you have a great gym setup for PvP, please use it. I don't have that many gyms, so I'm stuck with using these. But I will say, if you're a free-to-play player or a low spender, a great 1-star gym that I think you guys need for this build, since you're causing loss of control, is where's it at? Where's the right here? Pain of Subjugation, which now you deal 16% increased damage to enemies suffering loss of control and take 4% decreased damage while you suffering loss of control. Um, for my curse properties, I'm using 6-piece Nettled. After you gain a shield for the next 6 seconds, every time you are hit, you will counterattack, dealing 40% of your damage to all nearby enemies. Additionally, dealt to enemies hit by the counterattack is increased by 16%. Cannot occur often more than every 30 seconds. For my Paragon, I'm using Gladiator. I'm using a Hold Formation, Swift Strikes, Grizzled Veteran, Quick-Witted, and Cheat Death. And for my legendary skill, I'm using Curse of Weakness, which I think is great for this build. Your loss of control effects also apply Curse of Weakness to enemies, reducing the damage they deal by 30% for 3 seconds, which is great because it gives you more survivability. Basically what you want to do is you want to proc all your buff skills at once, dive into the enemy team, and then just spam your primary attacks. And before your skills go on cooldown, you want to dash out of combat, and then you let it reset, and then you just repeat, right? But yeah, that's kind of what I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay to show you how this build works. And yeah, hopefully, hopefully I wasn't terrible at explaining this build. Yeah, but enjoy.
Now